And welcome back. Our last guest has dedicated her life to the service of others in honor of her father. She's coordinated countless drives, providing several pounds of food to the community. And joining us now is the founder of the Rick Miller Foundation, Shanda Johnson.
Hi.
How are you?
I am amazing. It feels great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for the work that you're doing. I mean, how's it feel? You've got your foundation and really you want to be able to say, I'm giving back to my community.
It's the most rewarding feeling to be able to have this foundation in honor of my dad, who passed in 2016, and I continue his journey and live through his mission vicariously.
So you talk about your dad, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
why
yes,
did you
yes,
decide
yes.
to name it after your dad?
Because he's my hero. My dad is my mentor. He's someone that inserted himself into the community in such a powerful and outstanding manner and touched the lives of a lot of people and mentored a lot of people. So I've always looked up to my dad, and he's always been a staple in the community throughout New York City. My father's done a lot of work.
Yeah. So here he is embedded in you. Now you're carrying it out. You're carrying it out in the community. You're taking food and getting it to people. When did you start saying, listen, I want to do this. I'm going to gather food. I'm going to make sure my community's fed?
10 years ago. I had the opportunity of partnering up with KFC. I started on a very small scale, and I thought, wow, Dad, we made it. We have KFC, we have biscuits, we have chicken, we are out here, we're giving, he would cover different boroughs, and I would cover different boroughs, and we thought that was it, and we were excited, and my dad would go everywhere, any time of the night, donate stuff, and I would be on the other side donating stuff, and I thought the response back from the people, I felt at that moment we were in a crisis, that they really needed the food and they needed the resources. And that is what made me choose this direction in my life and to follow my dad's footsteps and try to get better faster with securing more places to get food.
So here you are out here on the hunt, trying to get some food, right? Trying to make sure that people are being fed.
Right.
A newbie, if you will.
Yeah.
What was it like dealing with people, the reaction to people? Were they very supportive, apprehensive? You know, there's a lot of organizations out there. How did it work for you?
Well, the interaction with the people you're asking, I feel like being able to touch the lives of so many people every day. I do this 7 days a week by myself. I think just seeing it firsthand of how much they need food and resources, I walked away knowing that it was time for me really to get better, faster, like I said, and put the focus on the lives of the less fortunate, the overseen, the underserved, and the unheard. And I felt like that was a critical part of the decision to give myself into the community 110%. And that's what I did, maintaining a full-time job.
So this isn't your this is your passion, but yet and still you've got a whole full-time job that you do.
Yeah.
Well, why is it important for you to say, listen, you know what? I'm going to give back to my community?
Because the community needs a voice. They need someone that's committed. They need someone that's driven. And they need someone that understands that I can be in that position one day. So I want to be the person that is approachable when I drive up in my car and I'm like, anybody need food? And they come over. I never want to be afraid of us. I always want to be able to enter any part of New York City and feel like I am doing the work of God and presenting myself in a way that people don't feel that they can't trust me. Yeah.
So for yourself, since doing the work, what's been the most impactful moment for you, the thing that sticks out in your head the most?
Outside of this being my very first interview, and looking forward to always being able to get to a platform and having something super important to say. It's just really all the doors that opened after my dad passed and knowing that he had everything to do with it. Because he probably said, if she thinks KFC is it, wait until I let her know that she's gonna cover 4 Whole Foods. She's gonna cover Longhorn Steakhouse. She's gonna cover Red Lobster. She's gonna cover Olive Garden. She's gonna cover Chipotle. She's gonna cover 7-Eleven. She's gonna cover Insomnia Cookies. She's going to cover everywhere that she always thought she couldn't cover. I'm going to make sure that she is out there and being able to provide different food and healthy choices and options to people across the New York City tri-state area.
And talk to me a little bit about the Rick Miller Foundation.
Well, the Rick Miller Foundation is my dream. It is my vision. It is my life. And it is something that every New Yorker will hear about one day.
And of course, if you don't know, that's her foundation that she's working with right now, named in honor of her father. And as you look towards the future, I know you got goals in mind. Everybody does. 2023, new year. What can we expect to see?
I want a van, a mobile with all of my stuff inside. So when I'm traveling through the boroughs, everything is accessible. If people need anything, I come in with my van and I have everything there, and I'm operating 7 days a week like I do now, but on a bigger scale. And then the long-term goal is to have a warehouse that operates 7 days a week, because right now I'm operating out of my home and my garage looks like Whole Foods. And I want to take the time to thank my mom for allowing me to take over her space.
Yeah. So you've taken this garage down, you transitioned it into your own mini warehouse right now?
Yeah.
So the future goal is like, look, I need a space of my own.
My mother knows I need a space of my own. She's right there. She's climbing over boxes, but she knows that the work is in my heart and I'm passionate about what I do. Very passionate. So
what's that like at home? Move that box up.
Oh, move that box. When is all of this stuff in this corner going? So it's always a rotating day of moving boxes, but I get it done. But my mom is an amazing person, and she's really a patient person with me, because I don't think that I can do it.
So when did the light go on for you that I'm doing it? You know, you talk about thinking you can do it, you're doing it, right? So when did the light go off for you to say, hey, I really can do this thing?
I think when I created my Instagram page and I saw that people were leaving comments from the places that I donated from, because I would tag them and I would see like Food Bank NYC and all of these different places that I looked up to, and I said, wow, they're acknowledging my work. I mean, I know that I'm being acknowledged by the people that I serve every day, but to see people that I've looked up to that inspired me, all of these other non-for-profits throughout New York City, that was the defining moment for me, that I'm on board and lining up with the best.
Yeah, and one of the things you do, you're able to actually collect food from restaurants. And, and that's been great, because a lot of times people restaurants really aren't so supportive, but for yourself, share a little bit about how that works and how you're able to take that food that goes from the restaurant and put it right right back in the community.
Well, I am in partnership with Food Donation Connection, and anytime there's an opportunity to get food, they will call me and ask me, can you pick up from Chipotle, Olive Garden? Even if my plate is full, I say yes, and I make a way of getting to that food. So like if I know in my mind, Shanda, can you take Red Lobster on a Wednesday? I will get on the phone and say yes. Even if I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? But it always works out. Yeah. So, you know, I get the call, I make the connection, and I secure it and pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. It's a
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
Listen, it's your first interview.
My very first interview is with you, Darren. Yes.
Thank you. Remember me now.
I will.
You know, because when you're up there, Darren was my first interview.
My
so
very first interview, and I'm super excited to be here.
Super excited to have you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the great work, Shanda.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, listen, if you want more information, you can visit her on Instagram at the Rick Miller Foundation.